right, welcome to the video today. So today we're going to talk about something that's pretty important. Today we're going to talk about a CRM. That is a customer relationship management software. It is vital. It is vital. When you're starting out, you're probably not thinking about um, how you're going to do a lot of invoicing, how you're going to do a lot of getting paid outside of what's pretty easy, which is a book like this. And so if you're watching on YouTube, this book here is just a receipt book that you can buy from Walmart. That's probably the gist of what you've thought about. You can also send an invoice. If you are thinking about invoices, maybe you made a template on uh, on a software that comes with Mac or something like that that you've sent out. I did that as well. The truth is, um, that can get messy real quick. When you're doing paper invoices and you're sending out those paper invoices, you're going to find yourself in a spot where you're not keeping up with what's getting paid, when it's being paid, how long has it been out. Um, Hoping that that person doesn't lose that receipt, but they're actually going to send it and email it to the people that pay. And so it just really, it's a mess. And so uh, one of the things that I learned early on was spend money in the right place where it's going to help you. And I understand that buying a software for your company can seem daunting when you look at the pricing guide for some of these companies and you see some of the numbers, it's like, I don't have that money, or I really don't want to spend that money. But what I'm telling you is that this software can help you in such a profound way get it as fast as possible. I want to show you some of the old systems that I used at Easy. I've got my book here. This was a book that I used for all my estimates. It's a book that I use for all my leads. I still have some stuff in here from 2017, and this is how I used to do my process. This was all of my contacts. This was an estimate that I filled out. There's a window deal that I filled out. This I needed some paper, so I just cut it off there. But you can see as I'm going through this book that there's a ton of different information, a lot of different information, I should say, on there. A lot of email addresses, a lot of contact information. Should probably blur that out. Don't call those people if you see that. But just a lot of information that I had in this book that I carried with me everywhere I went. Again, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But the issue becomes if I lose this book, I'm in trouble, right? Or if a fire breaks out or whatever, or if you spill something on it, look at that big old stain right there. So here's the deal. You have to keep your customers in one place. You have to be extremely organized. As a naturally unorganized person, this was the best that I could do on my own. And it just doesn't work. It's not good. So somebody told me about a CRM. Now, I want to tell you a story because I went to a convention for window cleaning, and at this convention, they said, "All right, we're going to start with the bare basics, the minimum of what people are doing," and then they started talking about CRMs. They started talking about invoices being sent and all of this kind of stuff. And I realized sitting at that table as everybody else is shaking their head, like, "Yeah, no, that's great." I was like, I have no idea what's going on. I have no clue what we're talking about. And that's when I realized, okay, maybe I'm in a little bit of trouble. Maybe I'm in a little bit over my head. And so most of my employees, most of my jobs that I did were cash. So I used this receipt book or a spiral bound version of a receipt book like this, where you just go in, you fill it out, you put the date, what you did, or who it was for, the price, the company name, and then uh, check or cash, and you can mark it that way. And it worked. It was fine, and that was okay for commercial small storefront businesses. The problem is whenever people say, "Can you send me the invoice?" So I was like, "Sure." And I went and bought a version of this, but it was the paper version. I wrote it all out, tore it, gave it to the person, and then prayed that 30 days later I would get a check. And that's when stuff started slipping through the cracks. That's when stuff started uh, really revealing itself that this is a problem. Now, I've had stuff from notebooks to whiteboards, like right here above my shoulder. I've had stuff where I tried to be as organized as I could. I had apps on my phone that was like a checklist and different things like that. If this sounds familiar to you at all, it is time for you to bite the bullet and get a CRM. Now, I want to say what all famous YouTube people say. Um, this is not a paid gig. This is not a paid sponsorship. They don't know who I am. They don't know that I'm doing this, but I want to help you because this was a help to me. So the first thing that I did was I looked for the cheapest. Naturally, I get it. That's okay. But what you need to consider is that the cheapest might not be the best. And if it's 50 bucks a month, 60 bucks a month, even $75 a month, I know that can sound like a lot when you're starting out, but this is one of the most valuable things you can get and you need to get it, okay? So I want to give you a couple of examples and a couple of places to go check out. The first one is jobber.com. So getjobber.com. The company name is Jobber, Jobber. I used this company. This was my first CRM, and I absolutely loved them. I absolutely loved them. So some of the features that they do and what a CRM can do is it's going to have all of your contact information in one place. So all of your contact information is going to be there. It's going to have their name, it's going to have their address. Most places have Google Maps integrated, so it's going to have a picture of their house or a picture of their business. It's going to have all of that contact information in the system. And now this is beautiful because you can't lose it. It's all right there. Other things that it's going to do is it's going to help you with scheduling. So there's a calendar on the CRM. And instead of trying to put it on the calendar on your phone or on a checklist on your phone or writing it down on a notebook or on a whiteboard like this, instead of trying to do all of that kind of stuff, it has a calendar that you can literally schedule out your week with your client. Okay. That's awesome. So that's going to make you 10 times more organized when you move to a CRM with the scheduling. Okay. Another thing it's going to do is it's going to help you with your invoices, like we've been talking about. This is probably the most important factor because what's integrated in all of these systems is automated messaging that will follow up with your invoices. So when you send that invoice, you're going to click one button. It's going to send the invoice to the customer. The customer is going to get that. They can pay it with a credit card online right there. They can write a check and send a check, or they can. There's a couple other ways with like Venmo and different things like that where they can pay. The reason you want this is because it's going to keep track of all of that. You don't have to have a special folder or a couple different books and three whiteboards that have they haven't paid or anything like that. They have all of that taken care of and they keep track of it for you. So it's amazing. It will follow up automatically within 30 days, 15 days, however you want to set it up. 90 days, don't do that. Get paid. But it will follow up with them automatically. It'll give you so much more freedom and it'll give you reports. It'll let you know what's already done, what's not done, what you need to go collect. It is an organizing master. So you want to do that. Also gives you the opportunity to do some online booking. It gives you, like I said, reports. It gives you forms. It gives you credit card processing, which you probably don't already have unless you're using something like Square. And then the beautiful thing is it allows you to do quoting your estimates. So this is where the game changed for me. On top of all of the stuff that we've already talked about, the best part of the CRM for me was this. I used it to create my estimate. So as I was walking around getting a window count, and writing it down in my book with window counts this way, or as I was going to commercials and trying to figure out a list of all the places that I would stop like this and write a price in the corner. I write the estimate, it emails it to him or text it to him, and then I can convert that estimate into a job with one click. And then it takes me straight to the schedule. I can schedule that job with one click, and then once that job's scheduled and I knock it out and I get it done, one click and it sends the invoice and they pay. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I wanted to tell you about this because this is something you need to do. Price wise, it can be costly. Price wise, it can be scary, but I promise you it will change the way you do business. If you're in business and you want to make this something that's more than just a weekend thing or more than that's just going to be a fling, if you're not going to burn out, if you're not going to give up, and you're going to actually show up and do the work, and this is something you want to apply yourself to and actually make it a part of your life, get a CRM. Okay, make this happen. Jobber, there's three different um, systems that you can buy into, or levels of the system that you can buy into. Core, which is the base, that's everything that I just talked about. That's $69 a month with them if you do it monthly. If you want to add on QuickBooks integrated to it, along with some other more users and things like that, that jumps up to $169 a month. And then their Grow plan, which adds on even more job costing, different things like that. Um, that's $349 a month. Now, if you're like me when I started, there's no way. There's absolutely no way that I would ever pull the trigger on something like that. But I want to encourage you, it's worth every penny. It is worth every penny because nothing's going to fall through the cracks anymore. And every moment you waste on doing the estimate and then trying to sit down and organize all of your jobs and route all of your jobs and get everything in order, and then all of the time that you waste with your invoicing and who's paid, who hasn't paid, writing down check numbers in on a piece of paper and keeping track of all of that stuff, all of that wasted time is going to be now open for you to go sell more jobs, for you to go clean more jobs, for you to go do more and be more productive. So you're going to make this money back with just the time that you save, let alone the organization that you're going to get. So this is absolutely something that you need to look at. First one I would say is look at Jobber. I love Jobber. I'm no longer with Jobber. I know that probably sounds weird. What are you talking about? If you love Jobber, why are you no longer with him? I made a move a long time ago with some things that I thought were important that ended up being not so important, but Jobber just didn't have back in 2017. They didn't have quite the robust options that they have now. So I moved to House Call Pro, and House Call Pro just gave me a little bit more in way of automation. And so when I cleaned a house, it would automatically send a email every 3 months, every 6 months, every year to remind them that, hey, it's time for your next cleaning. And that was really intriguing to me. At that point, I knew about MailChimp and I knew about a couple other softwares that were available, but it was another thing that I had to buy and I wanted it all in one. So I moved to House Call Pro, and we still use House Call Pro to this day. And again, there's more than just these two. There's a ton of other CRMs that you can get into and that you can use. Check them out, do your research, do what's going to be best for you. But these are the two that really stuck out to me. The basic for House Call Pro is $49 a month. If you're billed annually, and that's the same with Jobber. If you're billed monthly, that's going to be $69 a month. So it's the same price as what it would be for Jobber. The essential is going to be 169, and then the max, which gets up into 100 plus employees, probably not something you need to be considering right now, will be up in that $300 range as well. But you're talking about the possibility of taking credit cards with machines, with little card readers. You're talking about drag and drop scheduling, moving things around, dispatching, paperless invoicing. I'm going to read through it. Easy estimates, customizable text notifications that your people will get when you're on your way. It'll automatically send a text to let them know, hey, I'm on my way. I'll be there in 25 minutes to clean. And so that's a really good option, something that's really great. Job costing, tracking, in-app features for your employees. So as you grow and start to get employees, they can clock in, clock out. It lets you know where they are on the schedule, live time. So really good stuff there. Online booking, a customizable phone number. So if you don't want your personal phone number being out there, it'll kind of help you with that. And then a ton of other features. Go on these places and check them out. Housecallpro.com, getjobber.com. These are two fantastic CRMs that would really help. Um, the reason I wanted to talk about this is because this was a game changer. I've talked about it in other videos that I've done. Uh, I used to use the squeegee and the scrubber with a bucket, set down the squeegee and the scrubber in the water on the bucket, pick it up. And when I got a belt with a bucket on a belt, that changed the game for me. It cut my time in half. And I realized that I should have been doing that a long time ago. And what I found out along the way is anything you can do to speed your process along, anything you can do to be more organized, anything you can do to cut your time in half, it is worth every penny. Make it happen. Buy the bucket on a belt. Yeah, it's $50. And I know $50 when you're starting out is a lot, but it will help you so much. When it comes to all of the organization of the day-to-day, get off of all of the apps, get off of your phone calendar, get off of all of this stuff, get off of the paper invoices, get off of the 45 different notebooks and all of this kind of stuff, your whiteboards, and just stop. Get a software. If you're sticking to it, get a software because it's going to change the way you do business. It's going to make you faster, it's going to make you more productive, it's going to make you more organized, and it will help. So, one of the first things that I get asked starting out is, how do you get paid? How do you keep track of all this stuff? What about taxes? Taxes with this stuff is a nightmare. The first couple years that I did it, I had 3 or 4 of these books completely full, and I had to go through and count up all of the stuff that I had, plus all my paper invoices, plus all the emailed invoices that 2 months later I figured out you could make with a template online. It was chaos. It was chaos. The moment I got this software, and at the end of the year, I clicked 3 buttons and it printed off all of my information, gave it to me organized, and I just handed it to my tax person. Oh my goodness, it was beautiful. It was a game changer. So I'm really stressing about this because, like I said, the questions I get asked uh, a lot about are taxes and how do I go about taxes and all that. This takes care of it. It helps tremendously. So check out a CRM, do your own research, go look at it, see how it would be good for you. If you're going to quit and you know deep down you're going to quit, don't waste your money. If you're going to just do this for a little bit or you just want to do a couple jobs here and there, then don't waste your money. It's not worth it. But if this is something that you want to get into and you want to make this a business that will support your family and that will sustain you, or that you can have on the side but you're going to commit to it, I promise you this is not something that you'll regret. So jump. I know it's scary. Spend the money. If you've got it, don't do this if you only have one job and you're not going to go sell more jobs. But if you've got 10, 15, 20 jobs that you're doing on a regular basis, it's time for you to jump into something like this. And again, this could be for anything. It doesn't have to be just for window cleaning. If you're looking at getting into lawn mowing or lawn care, different things like that, pest control, if you're looking at getting into house cleaning or commercial cleaning, anything. If you've got customers and you're going to be interacting with those customers with invoicing, I promise you this is the way to go. All of their invoice templates are customizable, so you can make it look really sharp. And there's nothing that um, speaks louder to a company than when they want to use you because you're good and they get a paper invoice that looks like this. It just says, holy cow, what have I gotten myself into? So use a system that's going to help you out, and I promise you won't regret it. All right, that's it for now. Today's video was a little bit longer than what I'm going to try to do, but next we're going to be talking about some tools, and I'm really looking forward to getting into that. I have a lot of questions about window cleaning with squeegee size, 18-inch, 14-inch, 12-inch, different things like that, scrubbers, what works best. So we'll get into some of those details next. But thanks for listening, and I hope it's been a help.